reputation is all you have, right? So George Perez went into that grave like with a resounding positive reputation, and you can't then soil it, right? The other way it works the other way. You go in and you're going to be a bad dude. You're going to always be a bad dude. I don't get it why you want to be that person, but. So anyways, I was setting off these samples, and somewhere along the line, between doing the characters that Marvel and DC had, I'm going to take off my jacket here because I've been on it in the hot lights here. I decided to create my own characters, right? Oh, this is my lovely wife, Rhonda. She's freezing. Oh, there's a mic on it. Oh, I'm in my house here. I gotta hold the mic. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm just gonna hold this one here. So I created a bunch of characters when I was 16. Let me just say, I was dating a young lady that was 13 years old that time, and I just started collecting comic books, and I was a closet collector. And because I put all my comic books in the closet. I remember my lovely date came, and I went to go get a shirt. We were going out, and we opened the door, and all the comic books were there, and she went, "What the hell is that?" Because this is way before comic shops. This is way before movies. Like, comic books were like equal to Arrested Development, right? So it was like, and when you get to those moments and you're frozen and you get a trick question like, "What is that?" and you really want to go out with this girl, there's only one thing you do. You lie. They're my brothers. Right? So, but eventually she found out. She ended up sort of sticking around, and then she said, "Hey, I see you doing these other characters," and one of them was Spawn. Now, the page on the right, that was the original Spawn I created when I was 16 years old, right? He was blue. I originally colored him because we made a couple toys. People were like, "Why do you make it blue?" Because he was originally blue. Why? Because Star Wars was out. I'm 16. It's 1977, right? Star Wars is the thing. So I've got Spawn going out there, and I go, he's going to be a guy, and he's going to be in space, which is why I got that little pink alien guy there, right? His name was Saul. Last name Lamy. Saul Lamy was his name. But what's interesting, I think, and if you look at the drawing I did at 16. And you look at Spawn today, it's not radically different, right? I mean, the only change is that I put a chain across, I go back, I put a chain across the neck, I gave him a skull here, and then I gave him like a lot of spikes, right? Just because it's cool, chains and spikes, I can just go, it's cool. But the mark on the chest is essentially the same, the eyes are the same, he's got the cowl, he's got the big red cape. He had the same markings on the forearms. By the time issue number 1 came out 15 years later, it was exactly the same. But this book, I've got a 40-page book. At some point, let me ask you a question. Because somebody in Image has said, "Why don't you do this?" And I'm like, why would anybody want to buy that? Would you guys buy or support that 40-page story I did at 16? I still have it in pencil form. I never inked it. Right? I mean, I inked a couple pages. There's a couple like that one. If I took the 16-year-old Todd's pencils, which I still have, because people go, "Man, you still have it?" It's like, you can't give away shit, right? It was my worst stuff. I was 16. I can't give it away. But if old man Todd, knowing what he knows now, inked 16-year-old Todd, and then we did like cool coloring, would you buy the original Spawn comic book from when I was 16 years old? What we call Spawn 77. All right, so we did that one, and again, it was a character that was, in love with the person that he was with, and my editor was this lovely 13, at that point 14, going on 15 maybe, young lady. Here's the great thing about like sort of dating. If any of you guys have ever dated, or gals have dated people that's young, right? I think if I had to write a book, get them young. Get them young. Because then you can just sort of like both warp each other at a young age and do whatever else. And it's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and you sort of grow up and live through it. So the 13-year-old girl that helped me edit that book or whatever else, is now the lovely, mature lady that just came and took my coat from me, right? So, look at, so Wanda, and her name's Wanda, right? So Wanda, who's the love of Spawn's life? Wanda, not an accident, we'll get to that. But Wanda, close your ears because she doesn't like to hear the math here, right? But we're going to be celebrating on literally at San Diego Comic-Con. So if I'm not there, you're going to know why. It's our 40th anniversary on July 27th. And we dated 7 years. So she's like, I don't want to hear it. That, like, we got that old, but it's like, that's the math, Wanda, that's the math. So we were young. We dated that many years and we've been married that many years. That's just the math of it. But like the ladies are less concerned, like they seem to get more worked up over the ages than we do. But I find it to be, of all the things that have happened in my life, the great gift I've had in my life is my wife, right? So, Wanda, would you like to stand up and say hi? Would you stand up? Oh man! Look, let me just say with all sincerity, I wish a couple things on people, and to find the love of your life for decades and decades, and I hope to die with this woman. I wish it upon everybody. Because it's so good, right? It's just so good, and it's frustrating when I see my own kids at times, as they've grown up, and neighbors and friends, whatever, that have gone through rough relationships, and I just go, man, I got lucky. I don't know why. I got lucky in a lot of different avenues for no good reason, but this is why I don't have a lot of regrets, because it's like, I shouldn't be as fortunate as I am, but it's there. Anyway, so here's our comic book that we did. What was our next slide here? So once I started designing comic books, you guys have heard this story before where I would send off samples, right? So this chart in the middle, I don't know if you can see it, this is the actual chart I used to keep when I was a kid. I would send it off, right? And say, right there, if you look at the top one, it says Jim Shooter, what publisher? Marvel. The check mark meant I got a return from that person. And then it was like, what was the month and the day and the year that I got a return from them? So I kept track of who I sent it to, and I also kept track of who sent me something back, because I just thought that at some point that would be relevant. And we're going to get to where it was relevant, of who just maybe threw it away in the can, and then who actually gave me a response back. And here's a sample of some of the responses. You got First Comics, Marvel Comics, I'm sure there's a DC comic in there, Comics Journal. I sent everything. I think I was looking at one the other day, the Comics Journal, and they're going, thanks for sending your submission. We appreciate it. You don't have the goods, and we wish you luck with your stuff. And I don't know if that character called Spawn's going to amount to anything, right? So again, and they were true. That was accurate at the point. But now I actually, a letter goes, well, yeah. It's unfortunately nobody works at the Comics Journal that was there back then, so I can't do anything about it. So keep going. Here's one here. This is a letter from DC, and essentially they're saying, hey, your stuff isn't too bad. We're going to send you a test. We're going to send you a test script to see how you do it. And it was a Batgirl. It was a Batgirl script. And the editor for New Talent was Sal Amendola. But I sent it to every editor. Like, Sal was just one of 15 people at DC I sent it to. But this page right here next to it is my drawing of one of the pages that I sent back to Sal to go, oh, here's your script, and I'm gonna send it back to you. I never got a job at DC, but again, I was learning the process of storytelling and page-to-page continuity as we kept going. So, keep going. So as part of the samples that I sent, this, ladies and gentlemen, to me, is the page that got me my job. So oddly, let me tell you that I wasn't doing X-Men pages because John Byrne was doing the X-Men. I was never going to replace John Byrne. He was the Shohei Ohtani of the X-Men. And I was going to be a schmuck coming in, starting in the mailroom. You never worry, look at, if you're looking at trying to take somebody else's job, never look at the best person at that company to take the job. Look at the worst person and go, can I be better than the worst person?